Hey, before you start your morning tomorrow, I need you to hear this carefully, because what you do in the first 30 minutes after waking up may be putting silent stress on your heart, especially if you are over the age of 60. My name is Li Wen, and over the years, I have studied how simple daily habits influence heart health in aging adults, and one pattern continues to appear again and again. People believe that mornings are harmless, that the way they wake up does not matter. But in reality, the first actions you take after opening your eyes can either support your cardiovascular system or quietly weaken it over time. And the most dangerous part is this: you will not feel the damage happening immediately. It builds slowly day after day until one day it appears as high blood pressure, fatigue, or even a serious heart condition. Now let me ask you something. What is the first thing you do when you wake up? Do you reach for your phone? Do you rush out of bed? Do you drink coffee immediately or skip movement altogether? These habits feel normal. They feel routine. But what if I told you that one of them is directly interfering with your blood pressure, your circulation, and your heart's ability to function properly? And I want you to stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the number one morning habit that may be weakening your heart, and it is something most people watching this are doing right now. But before we get there, you need to understand what is supposed to happen inside your body when you wake up, because once you understand this, everything begins to make sense. During sleep, your body enters a recovery state. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your nervous system shifts into a more relaxed mode. This allows your cardiovascular system to rest and repair. But when you wake up, your body needs a gradual transition back into activity. Your blood pressure begins to rise, your heart rate increases, and your body prepares for movement. If this transition is too sudden or too stressful, it creates a shock to your system, particularly for aging hearts that are less flexible and more sensitive to changes in pressure. Now let's talk about some common morning habits that contribute to this problem. One of the first is jumping out of bed too quickly. When you move from lying down to standing up suddenly, your blood pressure must adjust rapidly to maintain blood flow to the brain. If this adjustment is too fast, it can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, and in some cases, increased strain on the heart. Research from the National Institute on Aging indicates that older adults are more prone to blood pressure instability during position changes, a condition known as orthostatic hypotension, and repeated episodes can stress the cardiovascular system. Now let's move to another common habit: drinking coffee immediately after waking up. Many people rely on caffeine as their first step in the morning. But what most do not realize is that your body naturally produces cortisol in the early morning to help you wake up. When you add caffeine on top of this natural surge, you create a sharper spike in heart rate and blood pressure. And over time, this can lead to increased cardiovascular strain, especially in individuals who are sensitive to caffeine. Delaying your first cup of coffee by 60 to 90 minutes allows your body to complete its natural wake-up process and reduces this effect. Now here is another important factor: dehydration. When you wake up, your body is often slightly dehydrated after several hours without fluid intake. And this matters because dehydration can thicken the blood, making it more difficult for your heart to pump efficiently. This increases resistance in your blood vessels and can raise blood pressure. Even mild dehydration has been shown to affect circulation and cardiovascular function, which is why drinking water shortly after waking up is one of the simplest and most effective ways to support your heart in the morning. Now let's go deeper, because this is where most people begin to understand the bigger picture. Your body follows a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that regulates blood pressure, heart rate, and hormone levels. In the morning, your blood pressure naturally rises to prepare you for the day. But when your habits disrupt this rhythm, the increase becomes exaggerated, and instead of a smooth transition, your body experiences a sudden spike. And this brings us to the number one morning habit that weakens your heart, and that is starting your day in a state of stress, especially through immediate phone use and mental overload. When you reach for your phone the moment you wake up, you expose your brain to information, messages, news, and notifications that trigger stress responses. Your body releases stress hormones, your heart rate increases, and your blood pressure rises before your body has had time to adjust naturally. And for seniors, this effect is even more significant because the cardiovascular system becomes more sensitive to stress hormones with age. Studies referenced by the American Heart Association show that chronic stress and repeated spikes in blood pressure contribute to long-term cardiovascular damage. And this is exactly what happens when you begin every morning in a reactive state instead of a controlled one. Now let me share something I have seen repeatedly in my work. Individuals who change their morning routine, even in small ways, often experience noticeable improvements in energy, blood pressure, and overall well-being within weeks. Simply delaying phone use, adding hydration, and incorporating light movement can create a more stable and supportive environment for the heart. And this is where everything shifts from fear to control. Because the good news is that you do not need complex solutions to protect your heart. You need simple, consistent habits that align with your body's natural processes. When you wake up, sit up slowly, take a few deep breaths, drink a glass of water, expose yourself to natural light, and allow your body to transition into activity gradually. These steps may seem small, but they reduce stress on your cardiovascular system and support long-term health. Now I want you to think about this. Your heart works continuously every second of your life, and the way you start your day sets the tone for how it performs for the rest of the day. When that start is stressful, abrupt, or unbalanced, the impact accumulates over time. But when it is calm, gradual, and supportive, your body responds positively. And this is something I have seen again and again, especially in adults over 60. The most important thing you need to understand is this. Your morning routine is not just a habit. It is a signal to your body and your heart about how the day will unfold. So starting tomorrow morning, ask yourself, what is the first thing I do? And is it helping my heart or putting it under stress? Because that decision, even though it seems small, may have a powerful impact on your long-term health. And now I want to hear from you. What is the first thing you usually do when you wake up? Leave your answer below, because your experience could help someone else recognize a habit they need to change. And remember, taking care of your heart begins with the small choices you make every day, starting with how you wake up.